Let's start with TIE tokens. TIE tokens are an in-game currency. With this currency, you can buy armor, weapons, accessories, mounts, and a couple other interesting items. You earn TIE tokens by completing public quests that are available when out in the world questing. You get 2 tokens for getting the top rank of a public quest, and you get 1 token for finishing in the bracket below. Now, you get no tokens at all if you finish in the bottom bracket. The more people that are doing a public quest, the wider that bracket gets. I don't know the exact breakdown because I can't find any documentation on it, but that's essentially how you earn TIE tokens. My suggestion would actually be to pool as many TIE tokens as you can leveling up and use them at level 50. It's a quick way to get top-end gear. It also is a good way to get a mount and a couple other items. The cost per item actually goes up as the level of the item goes up. So a level 10 item might cost 1 to 2 tokens, with a level 50 item costing, potentially in the hundreds, depending on the item you're buying. So I would definitely suggest on pooling as many as you can. There's also certain world quests or public quests that you can farm pretty efficiently for getting TIE tokens. There's actually one on the Aura side, around level 15, just outside the fortress to the south side, that a lot of people farm. Anyways, that's TIE tokens. Up next, let's talk about interface. The hotkey to edit the interface is Control plus H at the same time by default, unless you rebound it. And it opens up the editable interface you can see here. You can drag and drop interface pieces, as well as resize them using the slider. One of the more annoying things with this method is that if you're trying to edit the target window, for instance, you actually have to target something. Or if you're trying to edit the cast bar, you actually have to cast an ability while this window is up. Other than that, though, you can quite easily move items around, drag and drop them, and resize them. You can see here, it's a little bit frustrating trying to edit the cast size, but it gets done. Let's talk about Divine Spirits. Divine Spirits are part of the game which allow you to customize and power up your character. You can equip Divine Spirits that are specific to what you're doing. So there's PvP-oriented ones, there's also PvE-oriented ones, and there's also utility ones as well, such as movement speed. The qualities range anywhere from white quality all the way up to the orange. Orange is obviously better, you're going to get more stats per level. And what you can do is you can spend 50 silver per attempt, or free summoning points if you have any, and roll the dice and see what you get. Now what you do with the Divine Spirits that are no use to you is you actually combine them into a spirit that is useful to you, and it essentially gives it EXP to level up that individual spirit. You'll notice here too on the left side, there's a big wheel of Divine Spirits. For every 5 levels, you get 1 slot on that wheel. So at level 50, you'll have 10 Divine Spirits that you can equip. And you can just drag and drop them out of the inventory to equip them. It's really quite simple. You'll notice too when you're attempting to create more Divine Spirits, anytime you fail, you get 2 gem crystal currency things. And from there, you can open up the shop and buy either a green or blue quality Divine Spirit of your choosing. I highly suggest against that, and I would only spend my currency on the Turtle Spirit Praise, which give you 3,000 EXP towards a Divine Spirit. Up next, let's talk about item enhancement. Here you can use pieces of obsidian and or jade to increase the level of your weapon and armor. You use obsidian for armor and jade for weapons. Essentially what you do is you use the enhance button, you put in your piece of armor and a piece of jade. The extra safeguard materials from the cash shop, by the way, basically prevents you from breaking an item at higher level. And you plus it just like that. It takes a bit of money and as well the item, and increases the effectiveness of the item. At higher levels you can actually degrade, so go down in level. Up next we have stat enhancement. So stat enhancement is actually a pretty fun part of this game that I like. It's complete RNG, but for some reason it keeps it interesting for me. Basically, you can see here in the window, you get to roll bonus stats. Now there's a cap and it's based on your level. You get 10 increased cap for each level. So on level 31, the cap is 310. And you have 3 different options for rolling. You can use normal enhancements, which are the free ones you get from The enhancement stones, you also get 1 per day, and there's a couple other ways to get them, but they're basically free. And you can see here I have 142 saved up. And then you can use gold to enhance it as well, which is what I do the majority of the time. The third option is soul stones, and it's actually fairly expensive at 100 soul stones per roll. I do believe, though, that you're guaranteed to get all green rolls, but at that dollar value, unless you're a baller in real life, you probably aren't going to do that very often. I would suggest using gold to roll as high as you can until the rolls basically get to 3-4 gold, somewhere in that range, and then using your free rolls, which you've hopefully accumulated while leveling up. I see a lot of people use the free rolls just straight away. The downside to that is, as you get higher in the bonus stats, the cost per roll actually goes up. So it starts off and it's relatively cheap, like 32 copper, and as you can see right now, at about the 270 to 280 range across the board, it's ending up, being in the half a gold to 3/4 of a gold per roll. When you get up closer to the 400 of each stat, it ends up being, multiple gold per roll. So hopefully by that time you'll have, 200-300 free rolls saved up, and it will save you a ton of money. So don't make the mistake and use all your free rolls at the low levels while it's relatively cheap. You can use them later on. Let's talk about fame. Fame plays a huge part in this game. It is essentially a sub-level. So you have your character level, there's also a level for your PvP, and then there's also a fame level. Now, pretty much everything you do in this game is going to give you some sort of fame, whether it's questing, dungeons, PvP, 8 trigrams, class arena. There's just so many different ways to get fame, and it becomes quite a grind in the later levels because there's not a consistent way to grind it like there is grinding mobs, for instance. I highly suggest, if you have the capability to gear yourself out at a lower 8 trigrams level and farm it for maybe a day or two and get a bunch of fame. You do get a ton of fame. I think it's 1200 without guild perks for winning in 8 trigrams. Another good way to get is actually by doing the fishing tournament. The rewards there are very good for fame as well. And you can see here that under the fame reward menu, you'll see for every level of fame, you get some sort of perk, and the majority of them are actually really good. You get a whole bunch of turtle spirits, you get divine summoning spirits, you also get a bunch of yellow and even orange quality divine spirits. The main thing that you're going for, though, is actually level 49 and level 50, where you get unique armor and a unique weapon. Now, this is basically a class-specific weapon at the end, and that's really what you're going for. So it's very important any chance you get to increase your fame and participate in events that give you fame, because you'll get level 50 well before you get level 50 fame. Let's talk about guild perks now. So my biggest suggestion to any new player playing this game is to join a guild ASAP. There's a lot of perks you get by joining a guild. You get to participate in the daily dungeons that they offer, which is essentially you get a queue for a dungeon, a solo dungeon, 3 different ones, and you get fame rewards, etc., etc. There's also a bunch of other rewards you can see here, which include bonus fame, bonus EXP, bonus golds, bonus PvP rewards, all sorts of bonuses that even if you don't really do much in the guild, except for log in and just play by yourself, there's still huge perks for being in a guild. Also keep in mind too that depending on the amount of fame that you generate per week, you actually get a reward back, which you can see here is where it shows up. It's the activity fund. So the more fame you generate through the week, the more gold you'll get back, and it resets on Mondays. It also helps the guild generate fame as well so that they can rank up and buy better perks. So it's very important to be active while you're in a guild, and you'll get lots of rewards. You can also see it too in the class arena. There's rewards there as well, which I didn't mention before. So those are my 7 tips for newbies to Asta. I hope you enjoy the game as much as my wife and I have been recently. It got re-released, and the population is quite high, which was the biggest issue last time around I found. It's quite a bit of fun right now, and the game does have some unique characteristics that other MMOs don't have, which kind of separate it. Even though it does graphically look like some other MMOs that I won't mention, there are some gameplay mechanics that are quite unique. I do plan on releasing some more videos shortly here, one in regards to fishing and maybe a mage guide as well. Anyways, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep posting videos. Also, you can check me out on Twitch, which I do stream usually every night and sometimes on the weekends as well. The link will be below. Thank you very much.